Hey everyone, I'm Khandelwal and I welcome you all to Simplilearn's YouTube channel. Today, we will talk about conditional statements in C Sharp. But before we begin, let me tell you guys we have daily updates on multiple technologies. So if you are a tech geek in a continuous hunt for our latest technological advancements, then consider getting subscribed to our YouTube channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon to never miss an update from Simplilearn. Now, without any further ado, let's get started with the agenda for today's session. We will begin our session with a discussion on what are conditional statements. Then we will discuss the types of conditional statement. Then we will dive deeper into the types to discuss conditional branching with examples. Finally, we will wind up this session with a discussion on conditional looping. Let's get started with what are conditional statements. Conditional statements in C# are used when we wish to perform a certain action based on a given condition. Decision-making statements necessitate a few conditions that the program may assess and a set of statements that can be performed if the condition evaluates as true, or another statement that can be run if the statement evaluates as false. Conditional refers to a program capacity to infer and do various actions based on the conditions of the codes written in that program. Next up, let's discuss the types of conditional statement. Conditional statements are categorized into two types: conditional branching and conditional looping. Let's have an in-depth discussion on conditional branching. There are two ways to accommodate conditional branching: if-else statement and switch case statements. Let's discuss if-else statements first. The if statement is made up of a Boolean expression followed by a statement. The statement inside the if condition is executed only if the Boolean expression returns true. If it returns false, then the program will simply execute the else statement if it is available, as you can see in this flowchart. Let's try a code to demonstrate if-else statement. Let's start with declaring int x, y, then console dot writeLine in this we will print enter to number. Now let's get a user input. So x is equals to int dot parse and we will have console dot readline this will request the x input. Let's copy paste, repeat. Let's copy paste the same function, but this time for y. Now let's write an if-else statement. So if x is greater than y, then in that case we will print console dot writeLine that x is greater than y. Let's go for another condition. Else, then if we have x is less than y. Now in this case, we will be printing that y is greater than x. Now let's say they are equal. Since we have already covered the greater than part and the less than part, so only condition left is equals. So we don't have to mention another if statement for x equals to y. So we will just write else and print console dot write line both are equal. Let's save it and execute. Let's enter values as 7 and 5. Here it is printing x is greater than y. Let's try equal function as well. Let's give it value as 3 and 3, and it is printing both are equal. Let's get back to our slides. Next, let's discuss switch case statement. In this scenario, we have been given number of cases and a default case. In each case is numbered starting from 1 to the n, except for the default case. In the beginning, we are prompted to choose a number. Whatever number we pick, the program will execute the same numbered case. In case if there is no case with the chosen number, it will execute the default case. Let's try this statement in a code editor. Let's start with defining integer x. Then we will define a function that is public void get data. Here we will write a console.write line and we will choose the following color. Then we will have x is equals to int dot parse console dot read line. Now let's have a switch statement. So we have switch with argument as x. We will have first case console dot write line, and we will print you chose red. Break. Then we can have another case 2, and we will have same kind of statements. So console dot write line, you choose blue. Then a break statement. These break statements basically will loop you out of this switch case. So let's say case 3, and we have another console case write line, and this time you choose yellow. And break statement to get them out of here. Now there can be a case where we have to define a default case when we choose a number other than 1, 2, 3. So the default will have console dot write line, and it will by default choose white. And then we will also use break for this one as well. Now let's write the function for the main block. Here we will define an object for the switch case so for program obj is equals to new program then we can have obj dot get data, and we can have last line as console dot read line. Let's save it and execute it. As you can see, it's asking us to enter a number. Let's enter 1 and it's printing you choose red. Let's enter. Let's execute it again. This time let's answer a number which is not in our cases. Let's say use 5 and it will automatically choose us white. Let's get back to our slides.
If getting your learning started is half the battle, what if you could do that for free? Visit SkillUp by Simplilearn. Click on the link in the description to know more.
Now we have successfully defined the conditional branching statements. Now let's discuss conditional looping. There are 4 methods to accommodate conditional looping. First up, for loop, while loop, do while loop, and for each loop. Let's discuss them in detail. First up, for loop. The condition of the for loop includes the condition setup and change inside the syntax as well. We will first check the condition, like if we are at the last item. If it is deemed false, then we will keep this loop going, otherwise we will end the loop. Let's try a code. Let's start with an console write line. Here we will print a statement as square of 1 to 10. Let's write a for loop to do that. We can have int I is equals to 1, then I less than equals to 10, then I plus plus, then we will have console dot write line, and then we will have I star I as its argument. Let's try. As you can see, it is printing the squares from 1 to 100. Let's get back to our slides. Next we have is a while loop. In this scenario, the while loop will validate a condition. Then it will execute the code block as long as that while condition is true. And the loop will keep executing unless the condition becomes false. Let's try a code to understand this thoroughly. Let's start. We'll first have an integer x. Then we will write a function which is public void while demo. Then we will have a while loop inside with an argument condition as x less than equals to 50. Let's decrease that to 10. Then a console dot write line, and this will print x. it will keep on printing x until x becomes greater than 10. To do that, the x++ will increment its value after each loop. Then let's go to our main block. Here we will call while loop, then obj equals to while loop. New keyword. Now let's use this newly created object to call while demo. Let's save it and execute it. And here you can see it is printing its value from 0 to all the way up to 10. Then the while loop was dismissed because it exceeded the while condition. Let's get back to our slides. Next we have do while loop. In this scenario, it will first run the do code block. Then the while loop will validate a condition, and then if that condition is true, it will execute the do block as long as the while condition remains true. This loop will keep executing unless the while condition becomes false. Let's go to a code editor and try a code. Let's start with an int x. Then we will have a function that is public void do while demo. Here we will write a do command and we will print console dot write line x and x plus plus. Then we have a while condition with an condition as x should be less than equals to 10. Let's say in a case the x was 11. Then also the do function will first execute it. Basically, in this do while loop, if our x was already greater than 10, since our condition that x should be remain less than 10, this do block will still run for the first time because it did not encounter this while condition yet. So after running it once, it will print 11. Then it will encounter this while condition, and since the while condition will come out to be false, this do loop will be terminated. Let's write the main block. So do while loop obj is equals to new do while loop. Then we will use obj dot do while demo, call it. Let's save this and run it. As you can see, it is again printing from 0 to 10. Let's get back to our slides. Finally, we have for each loop. When a program wants to iterate through a contents of a list, it uses a for each loop. It can be applied to a collection such as array, list, or arrays. Let's write a code to understand it better. Let's start with the main block and write string bracket close, which is equals to, let's have arguments as die, comma, we can have shirt, we can have coat, we can have pants, we can have shorts, now let's write a for each loop. So for each loop we will have string I in cloth, then we will have a console dot write line and it will print I. Let's save it. So according to the for each loop, it will run this I in this cloth, which is a string. So basically it will print these all elements one by one through this loop. And here, as you can see, it is printing tie, shirt, coat, pants, and shorts one by one. And this was all for today's session. Hope you guys found it informative and helpful. If you like this session, then like, share, and subscribe. If you have any question, then you can drop them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more from Simplilearn.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.